Yes, we did. You know, we won at Monza with Ferrari. It's a great achievement. There's no doubt about that. But it's only one race, ultimately, in a very long competitive season. So it's important that the whole team stay humble, stay grounded, and not let it go to our heads. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Forza Ferrari. Fresh on the back of our win at Monza, it is time to go to Singapore. A very different race, a very different track. Hopefully, a very similar result. So there's not too much to catch you up on. The new R&D period is open. So if we have a quick look at cars here, we're sort of splitting our time. We're designing a new underfloor and front wing. We're researching rear wing and side pods. There is a very big regulation change for next season. I don't know as of yet when the new game is coming out if we're going to have time to be able to go into next season. But just in case we do, I don't want to be running last and sacked. So we've done so well not to get sacked so far. It'd be silly to get sacked after after this, wouldn't it? Or get sacked at this point. The mark here is regarding Mick's contract, which is up at the end of the year. We might renew him, we might not. I don't think Mini can come in, and Fornaroli is certainly not ready yet, so we'll probably end up just renewing Mick, to be honest. So let's have a look here. Singapore, it's going to be a dry race. Thank you very much. That takes some pressure off of me. So we can see here the qualifying. Red is Sector 1, blue Sector 2, yellow is Sector 3. It is definitely a street course, though there is a few longer straights, so we'll see what we can do. At low speed and medium speed corners, though, as it's with most street tracks, is the key thing. Very, very long pit stops, 27 seconds, only 23 seconds, so what that you say, 4 seconds with a safety car. It is, however, a two-stop because if we look at the drop-off, particularly, it's almost a tenth of a second to lap on the medium tyre. Now, the difference between a soft and a hard tyre is not massive, given the drop-off, but it is enough to think you probably want to do a soft, medium, soft, or a soft, hard, soft, if that is the case. Maybe a soft, medium, hard. Who knows? We'll find out when we go to do the race strategy. Now, if I remember correctly, Mick had an epic race here last season where there was about 3 red flags, all of which caught him out just after he'd made a pit stop, and he still managed to get a very good result. So we know the car should be good around here. Let's hope that that comes to fruition for us. So qualifying position, 1 car in the top 4. We should be hoping for that at a minimum. Finish 2 cars in the top 4 would be very, very nice. And qualifying position, we need someone in the top 6 and someone in the top 6 in the race to get that sponsor money, which should be relatively simple enough. Alright, to Singapore. So confirmation, no rain, which is always very nice for me. I will see you for qualifying. Alright, so we've done free practice. Both setups are nailed again, which is excellent. One thing I would say, the Red Bulls seem worryingly quick. They have topped all 3 sessions. FP1, we were 11th and 15th. FP2, we were 8th with Mick. And then if we go down here, we were 19th with Giovinazzi. And then FP3, Giovinazzi was 10th. And if we go down, Mick, who only did 6 laps, was 15th. So let's go and get ready for qualifying. So it's back to normal qualifying after the hard, medium, soft of Monza. Now, we are not using the brand new engines. Where are we here? Car parts. We've gone back to sort of the one that was being used before Monza. Basically, we don't really need that much engine power here, and also bigger chance of a crash that's going to destroy them, I would have thought. So I don't want to risk a brand new engine here. So let's go. Q1 shouldn't be a problem, I wouldn't have thought. Alright, so we were fine. We just did the 1 run. Unfortunately, the Red Bulls are significantly quicker than us to almost a second a lap. Mick was, in the end, worryingly close. There was a lot of cars. He was, I think, 11th when everyone did their second runs. Ultimately, it worked out okay. So we got there, and that's the main thing. Alright, now we are going to take a risk here. What I did in free practice is I used up an extra set of softs. So we only have 3 new sets of softs right now. We'll get another one for Q3. But if we can save a set here, it's going to be huge. So we're currently 3rd and 5th. Hopefully, this isn't going to backfire. We've got 0.4 of a second between Giovinazzi and 11th. Please have nobody going that much quicker behind us. There's a few green. Perez has gone ahead of us. Albon might. But I think we're going to be okay here. And that has worked out. So that's excellent. We've used 1 set of soft tyres for Q1 and Q2. And we've got through. So that is very, very nice. Good job to the drivers getting through, actually. Alright, here we go, on board with Giovinazzi. Now, we used the tyres for a third lap, and we were 6th and 7th, so yes, we're a second and a quarter off of Verstappen at the front, but those are tyres that are very much second-hand at this point. So we should have good lap times in us. We've gone green with Giovinazzi in the first sector. Mick will be coming around soon into that first sector. Is he getting held up there by a Williams? Looks like he got it past okay, so green for both. And if we could put this on the second row, get ourselves sort of best of the rest behind Red Bull, I think that's probably the best we can hope for. But what this has done is it's meant that for the race we have, obviously we have a set of hard tyres, but we also have 2 sets of mediums and 2 sets of softs. So we've really do have a lot of options. We know safety cars and red flags are a thing around here. Giovinazzi goes third. Not that far off Verstappen, actually, has to be said. Can Mick go and join him on the second row of the grid? Yes, he can. So, that's good news. Let's hope we can stay there. Oh, wait, yes, we can. So I think what we take from this, as George Russell nicks pole in the end, we are very much the second best team right now. Can we use a bit of strategy to get ahead of one or both of the Red Bulls here? We'll find out, won't we? Now, I think if we've learned anything from the past here at Singapore is that it comes down as much as anything to luck. So, why would you do soft, hard when you can do soft, medium, soft? Anyway, I mean, that appears to be the way to go, doesn't it? Now, I wonder if with Mick, just to try and throw a spanner amongst the Red Bull works, if we go with him, soft, medium, and that's going to mean that Mick is going to be able to maybe jump in between them, after the second stint, and then have a medium tyre at the end. What this doesn't mean is that if we were to get a late race safety car, we won't have the option of a soft tyre, but we would have a fresh medium if we need it. So, in my brain, that I think I know what I'm trying to do, and I think that works. So, there we go. Let's hope if we get any sort of luck with safety cars, virtual safety cars, red flags, well, it'll be a change of luck for us, won't it? So, let's hope maybe this is the one that goes our way. Alright, welcome back. Red Bull front row, Ferrari second row. Let's hope we get a nice start here. What we don't need is somebody getting in between us and the Red Bulls. And it looks like Mick has jumped up ahead of Giovinazzi, which is fine right now. What we don't need them to do is hit each other, of course. But the important thing is that we have managed to stay sort of third and fourth. And then, yeah, I mean, it could be a classic, couldn't it, between Red Bull and Ferrari here? Or Red Bull could drive off into the distance. We could be sort of running our own little race in third and fourth. And it could be extremely boring. But anyway, let's hope that it's a good race between everybody. And, yeah, I'm not going to save fuel early on here because, as I said, we've seen so many red flags and safety cars, virtual safety cars here before that I just think it's pointless to do that. We don't need to preemptively save. We're probably going to have at some point through the race a chance to do that. And unfortunately for us as well, the Red Bulls are they are driving off into the distance a little bit, aren't they? We'll save Giovinazzi. He doesn't need to push right now because, well, Mick can do that. He can just sort of tail around behind him. And we've already almost broke the DRS to the cars behind us. So, yeah, this might be a bit of a snooze. But, as I said, safety cars, red flags, surely something will come and spice this one up. Alright, well, this race is very much developing how I feared it might. The Red Bulls are galloping away, we're breaking away from everybody else, and it's a little bit of a 2x2 at the front. Now, we've charged up Giovinazzi's battery, we then moved him past Mick so Mick can charge up his battery. I think the key to this race, if we are going to beat Red Bull, it's going to have to be sort of through a bit of luck as much as anything else. So what I want us to be in is in a situation where if we need to just use the battery, deploy, go, use the tyres that we can, we're more or less, we've seen it from before where they sprint off and then kind of their pace sort of comes back to ours or maybe even slightly less, which is more or less what's happening now. They DRS each other around. Which is why I think their times are as good as they are. But the gap is sort of holding in about 4.5 seconds. And we are pulling away from Perez quite quickly. I think he's in a bit of a battle. You can see there, everybody else is doing 34s, 35s. the front four are all doing 33s, almost did exactly the same time as George Russell there that lap. So, yeah, we'll see. What we don't need us to do here probably is fight each other. So Mick, maybe just sit there. And, yeah, we're going to need a safety car, a red flag. We're going to need one that for once is timed throughout, for us. You'll see everybody here is on soft tyres at the front four, but then it's mostly mediums behind us. So that might throw a spanner in the works a bit later on. But to be honest, I think the front four cars, I think it's 2 by 2 and then everybody else. So we'll see. It might be a quick episode. That's why if nothing happens. All right, we are now inside our pit window, so we're pushing on now with Giovinazzi using the deploy. What we want to try and do here, we know it's a 28-second gap. If we can, you can see there, Leclerc is 27 seconds back, and then there's a little bit of a gap. So if we can try and get that gap out so that we come into a little bit of free air, we know there's a lot of medium tyre runners back here that are going to be, out there for a little while. My hope is that that they're going to, when the Red Bulls come in, sort of land right in the middle of them. And, so there might be a small window of opportunity here for us to be able to catch up with them. We are pegging them back a little bit. They came back to sort of 3.5 seconds, and then they moved it back out again. So yeah, we're kind of close enough to to keep a little bit of pressure on them. Giovinazzi is obviously doing a bit of a push right now. We need kind of Mick to stay. What we need as well is we need Mick to be able to do an extra lap. Obviously, we can't double stack right now, but he's just lost the DRS. But Mick and Gio's also just used up all his batteries, so that might work out. Okay, so here comes Russell now. So I think what we might need to do is we'll need to stop Giovinazzi this next lap, put him onto a medium. So maybe a lap earlier than is ideal. And then with Mick, I think we extend him a little bit, so he's got that little bit of extra tyre life perhaps later on. Because there's no pressure behind Mick. Mick is at the back of the train, so to speak. Where's Russell come out? So he has come out more or less behind Stroll in that battle that's stuck behind Ricciardo right now. So, yeah, that's working out okay. We'll attack Mick now as well. How are we looking in terms of the gap? Back to 28 plus minus 2. It's going to be very, very close. All right, cross everything. We've really closed in that gap to Verstappen there, though, haven't we? Mick can come in this next lap. That is fine. He's going soft, isn't he? Come on. Come on, Ferrari. Please give us something. Give us something. 2.7. Very nicely done. Now, does it get us out ahead of Russell? Has he been held up enough? No. See, there's that train of cars. But crucially, we're a lot closer now to the lead than we were, aren't we? And we have come out ahead of Leclerc as well. So that is also good news. Now, let's go and have a look at Mick. And see what he's up to. Could Mick do an overcut, perhaps? Which would be something. So we'll go on to harvest for him now. And let's see what we get. Can we get 2.7 second stops? Probably asking a little bit of us, isn't it? Come on. Come on, come on, come on. 2.2 stops under 3 seconds. Alright. Maybe we've got it all out of our system now. So there goes that group. And again, we've come out a lot closer. Look at Giovinazzi, if we have a look here, is right behind Max Verstappen. So that is excellent news. We will use this opportunity to harvest up. And yeah, so George Russell's a little bit up the road there. Our main focus has really got to be Max though, doesn't it? He's our championship contender. He is stuck in a DRS train that is going to be very difficult for him to get through. So we just need to kind of sit here. Hopefully he doesn't get through it. And then when they all come in to stop, there might be a chance here for us to, if we're within the DRS range of Verstappen, to go and get some moves done, as Mick is now right up behind us again. Now, I have told Mick not to attack, haven't I? Yes, I have. Okay. So, same with you, Mick. Just harvest up. We'll save some fuel here as well, just in case it might come back if we don't get a safety car. And, yeah. This is a little bit more... Maybe we should stay with this. This is about as exciting as this race has been, as Max has gone and put a move on that Aston Martin, which is not what we needed. So let's see if we can go and do likewise now. Fresher medium tyres, it should be fine. Down the outside we go. Oh, virtual safety car!
Let's try to get the deck down on this.
Well...
There's a yellow flag now.
Ricardo has crashed. For once, it's not going to devastate our race because we were that much ahead of everybody else anyway.
There is a crash.
On there, please.
Could Magnussen and Norris maybe jump us here?
Diners are okay.
But we're right where we need to be, basically, aren't we? Behind the Red Bulls. Alright, so virtual safety car is ending. We need to get Mick past Stroll as quickly as possible here. Norris didn't stop in the lead, so I'm not quite sure why he hasn't done that. And the other thing that has happened is Russell apparently is on a hard tyre. And, okay, so we've got to go now with Giovinazzi because Max has gone and got past Ocon there. So this should be fairly straightforward down the back straight, I would have thought and hoped. And indeed, it looks as though we have got that done. And if we can try and stay in the DRS of Verstappen, that would be brilliant. Now, Max, if you can go and get Ocon here as well, please, mate. Given that you have a young soft tyre compared to his old medium. And that would be useful. Please and thank you, mate. Do we need to put you on full send? No, he's going to come into the pits anyway. So why you wouldn't have done that earlier, I don't really understand. But anyway, Max has gone again. So we've not quite been able to use that to our advantage. The Red Bulls are just too quick for us, unfortunately. Our one hope, mate, might be Russell on a hard tyre. Maybe if he holds up Verstappen, maybe we can, even if we just get past him and just limit the damage a little bit. Alright, well, unfortunately, we just don't have the pace of the Red Bull here. I mean, even Russell on his hard tyre, Max is on a medium, they're still faster than us. What we've done is we've charged up Giovinazzi's battery. We're now doing the same thing with Mick. We're going to try and take his soft tyre as far as we can. Because there's not really any threat behind us. You know, we're 4 seconds up. We're even on a bad lap where we're harvesting, we're matching essentially Magnussen. So there's not really any point in bringing Schumacher in early. If he takes these as long as he can, then we can see we get an advantage later on if we can go a little bit longer on this stint. So, and also there's obviously a small chance that we catch a red flag or a safety car, before we stop instead of just afterwards. So that's where we're at. We're 10 seconds back now of the Red Bulls. It's, yeah, sorry to say, this is what I've been watching for the last 36 laps. It's just us just following each other around, charging batteries. As the Red Bulls drive off into the distance. So it's not a great one. Not a great race at all. Alright, we are bringing Mick in this lap. He's essentially carried these tyres as far as he can. And, he's out of luck for a safety car. We'll do the same thing with Giovinazzi and just hope that he finds something. Not sure exactly where Mick's going to come out. Let's hope we get another good stop from us. There's a big gap between Magnussen and Norris. Hopefully we'll be able to just fit into that quite nicely. 2.5! I'm going to almost fell over. We might get a pit stop point for that one. Unbelievable. Alright, so we have got out, have we, ahead of Stroll just about? Yes, so he's on medium tyres to the end now is Mick. We just want to try and make sure that we don't lose out to Stroll here, but he's on, what sort of tyres is Stroll on? A very old set of softs, so yeah, that we should be okay on that front. Mick is going to the end. He has a little bit of extra life left in his tyres because of that. There's a part of me that wonders if Russell's going to try and go to the end on a hard tyre. I don't think he will, but I also don't know for sure. He might come in for a soft. I think that strategy was soft, hard, soft, wasn't it? So we'll see what happens with that one. We've just about put Stroll out of DRS now, so that's good. We can probably back that off a little bit. And yeah, 15 seconds to the Red Bulls. We're just racing with ourselves, and to be honest, it's not even much of a race because we're going to tell Schumacher to let Giovinazzi past him anyway. So, you know, it is what it is. Alright, well, George Russell's just coming to the pits, so red flag now, and Giovinazzi will be ahead of him. It's not going to make any difference, I don't think, because I'm sure he's got him put on. Although, Giovinazzi's going to put... Oh, he's only gone to a medium. Come on, a red flag. I don't even think a safety car would be enough for us. We would need... What's the gap back to him? 10 seconds. Yeah, we probably need a red flag, so... I'd say Mick should stick it in the fence, but we don't really want him to do that either because there's the Constructors' Championship on the line here as well. But I think if Red Bull go in... Okay, so here comes Verstappen. Alright, so let's get Giovinazzi past him. Let's get a red flag. And, yeah, do we get a little bit of luck here at some point? We are essentially hanging for a red flag now. We've had somebody come out a lap down in front of us, which is fine. We'll try and get 2 more laps out of this. It's going to push the tyres a long, long way towards the edge. We're going to be a little bit careful with the gap to Perez, although in truth, he's probably already ahead of us, but we'll catch him past him without too much worries, I would have thought. Magnussen is catching us as well, but again, it's a safety car hanging, so... or not even safety car, as I said, we really need a red flag. So, next lap will come in. We'll have nice fresh set of soft tyres to go attacking with. And, yeah. Alright, so we've just had the indignity of Magnussen to go past us, but we are coming in, as I said, this lap. There goes Russell as well, so it's not been a great in-lap. Let's hope that the pit stop goes a little bit better. I wonder if Norris is going to the end. He might be going to the end, you know. Alright, is it another good one? Oh, 4 stops under 3 seconds. It's, well, it's Fantasyland, really, isn't it? Now, there is a question mark. Have we gone too far with Giovinazzi here? He's back in 8th. I suspect there's going to be pit stops autos, although they're not Sainz, not Perez, and maybe not Norris either. But we're gonna have a lot of pace over those guys, so I don't think we need to worry too much. And we've also got fully charged batteries, so yeah, it should be okay. And in fact, it looks like Mick has just cruised his way past Norris. So yeah, I wonder if with Giovinazzi we could have a sneaky bid for fastest lap. We've got everything we need to try and do it. Let's see if we can. The only concern would be if Sainz gets in the way here. I would hope maybe this DRS zone down the back straight here, we might get close enough to maybe you get a DRS pass, which would actually help our lap time as well. But we're going to need to really go through this section to get close enough. We are just about in DRS. So we have DRS. Now, if we can get the overtake done before and don't get held up through this corner. We've done a purple middle sector. I think this is going to possibly ruin the lap for us, though. Have we done enough to get fastest lap? Anyway, we did. A 28.0. So nicely done there by Giovinazzi. That's Sainz out of the way. And like I say, we're going to be quick enough to get our way through. 15 laps to go. It was a long, long way around Singapore.
Looks like
oh, we've had a crash. We've had a crash.
Debris on track.
Is it the 2 Red Bulls? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Oh! It's Max Verstappen, and... Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. Oh, don't do that to me. Alright, so we are continuing to come back through the field here. I'm not sure if K-Mag's going to the end or not. Ultimately, he's several seconds a lap slower. I suspect he might be red flag, safety car hanging, to be honest. Which you can't really blame him for. So we are about to get in here with Mick. And that will be Mick up into 3rd then. Giovinazzi is, again, several seconds faster than everybody on his soft tyre. And yeah, so we will. I would hope anyway. We'll see Giovinazzi get himself back up into third before the race is done, because what we will do is we will ask Mick to just kindly pull over and let him pass, basically. So yeah, we're chipping away at Norris here. We're 2 seconds a lap faster in the last lap. This lap, a 32.9 to a 30.4, so we're 2.5 seconds a lap faster there. Magnussen, as you can see, is another couple of tenths slower again. So it's going to work out okay for us here. What we want to do is get Mick past. We want to get Mick ahead of Magnussen, but we don't want him going too far down the road, because we very much want him to let Thingo pass. So we'll just conserve everything and harvest and make sure he's going slow enough that Giovinazzi can cruise past. Yes, let's see if he can go and get Norris here. He's going to have the front straight anyway, so I suspect it won't be that much of a big deal. Bit of DRS, and yeah, inside line, late on the brakes, and Giovinazzi gets himself back up into 5th. 2.5 seconds to K-Mag. He should get that done this lap, in truth. So, yeah, that's back to 3rd and 4th, and then we just need to make sure that we're finishing in the right order. Alright, so here we go, about to just drive past Magnussen like he is not even there. And that is 3rd and 4th. He comes into the pits as well. So we are 2 seconds faster than Mick. Yeah, 20 seconds to Red Bull. So we're not going to do that. We just need Giovinazzi now to catch, to catch him past Mick. And this should be the moment. Mick, like a good teammate, is hopefully, there he goes, letting past Giovinazzi. He can now go and just follow him around. And that's going to be 3rd and 4th, assuming nothing goes wrong from here. Alright, so we are coming around to start the final lap. We're on board with Mick. Giovinazzi's just in front there. And yeah, like I said, this has just been a boring race, unfortunately. So I apologise for that. There's not too much. I don't think we could have done anything different. The only thing you might say is when we, after that first stop and the virtual safety car, should we have attacked a little bit more? Perhaps in hindsight with Giovinazzi, we should have. But ultimately, I mean, they're 22 seconds ahead of us. I don't think it would have made any difference, to be honest. So Russell wins, which is a nice little, that's a saviour for us, to be honest. That means Verstappen hasn't got those points. Giovinazzi, with fastest lap, is going to come around. We'll jump on board with him as he crosses the line to get on the podium in Singapore with the fastest lap. Mick is 4th.
Okay, that's the checkered
and then
flag.
it's daylight, then back to 5th and Perez. So, yeah, not a classic. Not a classic at all. Now, the real suspense is, did we manage to score a pit stop point today? But yeah, there we go. So only a 2-point deficit there to Verstappen. Now, in a race where he was 23 seconds in front of Giovinazzi, to only lose 2 points has got to be considered a win, doesn't it? So that's good news for us. The drivers, there it is there. Mick is still in 5th, though. Again, just closing in ever so slightly there on Perez in front of him. The constructors, that almost seals it, doesn't it? It's going to be a long, long way back now. But, I mean, we'll keep trying, obviously. But it looks as though Red Bull might have today galloped off into the distance. 56 points, is it? That's a big gap. And pit stops. Oh, we still didn't get a pit stop point. Well, if we're not going to score one there, we never are we? But look at that. 4 stops, all under 3 seconds. I mean, miracles happen, don't they? So Mick becomes an 85 rated driver after that, following around Giovinazzi. He learnt a lot, didn't he? Next time out, it is the Japanese Grand Prix. And that will be maybe a track that suits us. I never know what suits us compared to Red Bull now. I think what we've figured out is it's not Singapore. It's not a street circuit with slow corners. Maybe a non-street circuit with fast corners will be what we need. We've got a required response here. That is for financial change. Season shares prize money. I mean, that's not particularly good for the sport, is it? It's good for us, but not particularly good for the sport. So let's say no to that. All right, I will see you in Japan. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed that. And again, it just wasn't a good race, unfortunately. Not much happened. Take care.